My YouTube video production process starts with creating a thumbnail in Canva. You got to get that clickable. Then I do the description and an alternate title if I don't do one on the thumbnail. For me, the intro and outro have to be scripted. I want to nail those, so scripting helps. Plus, my intro doubles as a short/reel, so time is a factor. The middle content of the video is outlined, but I usually freestyle that. Want it to feel natural. Ecamm Live Pro for Mac is the application I use to record all my videos, like real talk, all my videos. YouTube, speaking, webinar, coaching, courses, basically everything. And if the video needs editing, because with Ecamm, sometimes you don't, I use DaVinci Resolve. But if my editor is editing, which is probably most of the time, I just upload the videos to him. Lastly, we schedule the video and short/reel separately, and voila, we're done. Or are we? Let's take a closer look at my process in this video. As mentioned in the lead-in, I always start with the thumbnail. You gotta get that joint has to be proper, right? So I try to come up with something that is going to be clickable, something that is kind of tells its own story. Sometimes I do use some text. So you'll see on this one, live stream markers. What are they for? I have that question in there. Got a random person on the flyer, on the thumbnail. Doesn't necessarily always have to be me, but because I am talking about StreamYard and Ecamm, because both platforms have markers, I do include those logos there. There's this background image of a video editor essentially, and there is a marker on the screen, which I've done one as the background image and another where I've cropped in so that that part actually can show a little brighter. You can turn the opacity up and down on that here in Canva. Got an arrow pointing to it, and then here are some markers. And again, because I'm talking about markers, even though markers are a general term that everybody uses, but in live streaming and then of course in video editing, they have a different meaning. So I wanted to kind of create that visual feast. Some people may say, it's a bit too much, but I like to ensure that the thumbnail not only tells a story, but it starts the conversation. And so when I start this particular video, I actually start by answering the question. So the question is, what are they for? And I start by saying, they are for da 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 da. And so again, really just trying to highlight how I produce and how I put together the entire video. So again, here's another example. And these are both screenshots. One is a screenshot of Final Cut. One is a screenshot of Restream. And I have the Restream logo here because, again, that's what we're going to be looking at. But I also have the Ecamm logo here because I do look at that in the video as well. So video editing equals live video playlists. And so somebody's going to be like, So I put video editing here and I point an arrow to Restream and I put live video playlist here and I put an arrow to Final Cut. Of course, that's flipped. And so again, you're creating this conversation. You're starting this whole idea. The background image is just an image of somebody's random studio that I pulled from stock footage here in Canva. And we're able to kind of overlay on top. You can see I can move this around. We can just kind of overlay on top of that image these screenshots of the actual things that I want to show. So it kind of blends it into the image, makes it seem like this is a picture that was taken, but I still have control over what that actually looks and feels like. And then I get to highlight what are some of the things that we can do in that video. So that kind of showcases the thumbnail piece. Once I have a thumbnail that I feel like is clickable, then I shift towards title and description. So I'm actually going to go over to my note-taking app, which is TickTick. Whole other thing for another time. And in here, you'll see the two scripts. So live video editing, streaming playlists, markers for live stream. What are they for? I have the two. These are my two title, description, and script. Like this is where I do all of that stuff. And if you noticed as I was scrolling through, I'm not going to scroll back up, but I have a number of other videos that have not been touched, video titles. And I'll get to that toward the end of the video in terms of that is something that you want to make sure you have is you have a place where you're constantly putting down your video titles, topics. So I try to script, again, as I mentioned, the intro and the outro, but I also try to come up with that description. And if I'm going to have an alternate title, I try to put that here as well. Try to do all of that before I press the record button because I want to make sure I am speaking towards the one or both of the titles, along with, of course, the thumbnail. Having the thumbnail and the description and title done before you hit record means you can actually deliver on the value proposition you've created in that thumbnail. You want to make that thumbnail clickable, but you don't want it to be clickbait. Clickbait meaning it's a bait and switch. Essentially, I'm not going to give you what you thought you were going to get in this video. So this is where I do that. And of course, as I mentioned before, I do script the intro and outro. I like my intro to have a lot of B-roll. I like to kind of walk people through the process, as I already did in the intro for this video. You see that I kind of gave you my steps. I gave you all 5 of my steps. I think it's 6, all 6 of my steps that I use in my video production process. And I try to use B-roll to kind of showcase very quickly what that looks like, because my intro doubles as a short for Instagram, for Facebook, and for YouTube. So I put those on those platforms. Sometimes I even put them on TikTok or even LinkedIn for that matter, because it's a short, it's sub 60 seconds, it's vertical, it's bite size, and it's supposed to give people the same value. But if they want more, they can come to the video. This is just my way of doing it. You don't have to do it this way, but hey, the title of the video is my video production process for YouTube. So that's what I do for the description. And for the title and for the thumbnail, and now finally for the script. Once I have the script done, I have a teleprompter that I use. I'll show you over the shoulder what it looks like here. I have a teleprompter in front of me, along with my with of course the screen here. So you have ecamm, you have the teleprompter. On the teleprompter, I have a teleprompter app that I copy this script from TickTick, drop it in the app, and record there, and then I can bring that up when I'm ready to record. So my camera is right behind the teleprompter, and so I hit record, play that script, and I'm able to read through just that beginning piece and of course the closing piece to kind of bookend the video with very pointed and targeted things that I want to make sure I'm doing, especially if I'm wanting to make sure that people go to another playlist or another video after they watch this one. I want to make sure that that is very targeted. I want to blend that right into the fabric of what the video is going to do, and what you're going to see. So that's what we do there for that part. But in ecamm itself, which you want to bring that up right now, you can see that you have a number of things here, but the main scenes that I want to showcase are these. So I'm going to just kind of go into preview mode here. Okay, so you have the main scene here, which is where I'm recording now. You have the intro, and so when I go to that, you can kind of it will actually play the intro all the way through, and then bring me back to this other scene where I'm back on camera and I can kind of talk through some things with the people. Ecamm also allows me to record in ISO, so I can record my screen, my camera, and my other cameras all at the same time. So because I can do that, I don't necessarily need to switch to the screen. I'm already recording the screen right here in the system. And so that makes the process even smoother and cuts down on having to go back through and record these pieces as B-roll to the main video. We actually have 4 streams of content, four video streams to be able to edit in 4K on the timeline after we're done. So that's what we do there. I talk through this process in the video here, and then we go back to another scene, which is my quote unquote closing screen that has music already attached to it. Same for my intro screen. And then I have my final screen, which is where I'm throwing to the next video. And you're gonna see this scene yet again later on. So ecamm really has a workflow that is essentially set up for, it's essentially set up for you to be able to record the entire video without needing a whole lot of editing. So if and I have a lot of colleagues who use ecamm who basically do no video editing. Ecamm is their editing. And so they kind of just have everything set up, assets are ready to go, and they just kind of walk that process through scene by scene by scene. I do that for some of my videos, but I don't do that for a lot of my YouTube videos, especially since I'm teaching and I want to showcase different things at different times. Being able to edit those helps me to have a little bit more granular control over what people are seeing and experiencing, and make sure that we are able to share that information in a way that's impactful. So several other things that are there as well. Let's go back here. This is another end screen that I have that just kind of is used for YouTube. Just kind of using this as an example for you to be able to see the granular control that you have in ecamm. And here is yet another screen where I can bring up my phone or bring up my iPad and showcase that in ecamm and not have to worry about having to plug up anything else or switch to something else or have to plug that in post. You can do all that with ecamm for your recordings. And I might add, you can do that for your live content as well. So, you have no shortage of options with ecamm during the recording process. So as I mentioned in the lead in, if I need to edit the video, I do like to edit in DaVinci Resolve. And so here is DaVinci Resolve. I use the Pro version. If you have any Blackmagic equipment whatsoever, you do get a free license for the Pro version, but it is a one-time cost. I like DaVinci Resolve, even though my team of editors don't use DaVinci Resolve. I like it because of, I don't know, it works the way that my mind works. I've got a folder of assets here. Intro, the intro, outro, the end screen, the subscribe, call out, and then I have like a transition. I don't know what you call it. Yeah, a custom transition video that I've had created just for my channel and for my brand. So I use those throughout the video where possible as I'm switching between different things, and then different other sound effects that I might use as well, like the door closing, the gunshot. Some of those you may have heard in some of my videos. Have just kind of have those already stacked and ready to go. And so go through first pass is to just make sure audio and color is correct before I do any clipping or cutting. I always like to do that. And then after that, I want to make sure that I have the jump cuts at the places that I want them, put my lower thirds and different things like that in, and then close out the video. Once the video is done, however, I do simply go and schedule and post. A lot of the times my video team is the one that's actually doing the editing. So they will schedule it, they will actually edit the video, and then they will deliver the video to me on a platform that we use together called frame.io. Some of you are familiar with that. I've talked about it in the past. So this is that platform. And here are some of those videos that have been delivered to me. Here's a video background for streamers. Here's 3 camera views in one, and how to get ISO from some StreamYard. So they deliver these to me. Sometimes I will give them feedback. Let's see here. So this is the one that it's on version 4. This one is on version 4. So if I come up here to the top, I can go down and go back to, let's say, version 1. And now you can kind of see some of my comments to the video editor. Hey, can we do some certain things? Want to add more B-roll, whatever. And then we kind of make our way through. And I can go back and see those other iterations to say, okay, what did I say to them before? Was that actually done? Finally, we land on a final version of this. And we can essentially export it directly from Frame to YouTube. But whether I do that or my team does that, that's neither here nor there. But the point is to get them scheduled and posted. For me, I try to post a video every Sunday, and we post a short and reel on the Thursday after. So we give the video a little bit of time to kind of do its own thing and make its own way around to our followers and subscribers naturally. And then we put this short/reel on other platforms to kind of give it that extra boost a few days after it has done its thing. And then maybe like 6 months later or whatever, we might post that same short reel again. Again, that short/reel is its own value, but it does point to the long form content. The primary ingredient for success in content creation is consistency. Every creator has a way of creating content, so there's not a right or a wrong. Rather, you glean from each one what works best for you, and especially what enables you to be consistent. This is my way, but there's a few things I kind of skipped. I work with my coaching clients to develop their target audience and value proposition, along with 52, counted 52 videos to pull from. We also categorize each video as either discovery, advertising, or community content. Establishing yourself as an expert with content is a critical thing to do. In fact, I have a 6-video playlist that walks you through that process right here. Click the playlist and I'll see you over there. Go ahead. I'll see you. Take care.